most of the schools I know here in Texas, it wasn't like people were still on Christmas break or are still on Christmas break. They just started the season. By the way, started the season on the NFL's Black Monday, where now 6 head coaches no longer have jobs and has completely taken over the sports news cycle. Sucked all the wind out of it.
But step back.
The CBA. But it does look like it's coming. That may be true, but there's a belief within WNBA circles that the league is still at least one collective bargaining agreement away from being able to offer salaries that warrant exclusivity. But for sustained success, Unrivaled needs to consider an increasingly crowded women's basketball ecosystem. Now, it goes on to talk about the great, and I do mean the GOAT, David Stern, coming out and talking about why the WNBA was created. It was created as a league opposite to the NBA, purposely. So people would have basketball to watch when the NBA wasn't playing. It goes on to talk about the fact that the Unrivaled's got all this new money. Well, it's just investment money. All right, Series B investment, valuing the league at $340 million. Following the inaugural season when the league banked more than $27 million in revenue, the league is trying.
And what makes the timing so
any fire at all. And you didn't start this on TNT. I just can't imagine. I mean, why wouldn't you, if you have to, just do prime time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? By the way, they're going up against WWE tonight. 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. It's going to be a huge show. That's who you're going up against? Along with the help to stay afloat. That's on the table. They're in big trouble, folks. Year 2 tipped off Monday with 2 matinee games following an evening slate. It comes with a clear challenge, solidifying the startup 3-on-3 in an increasingly crowded women's basketball landscape.
But a flaw surfaced in 2024 chose not to participate. It wasn't a quiet pass either. She openly indicated that her game doesn't translate to 3-on-3 competition. When an entire league is built on star-driven attention and the most influential figure in women's basketball refuses to take part, the issue runs deeper than promotion or scheduling. It isn't a branding failure or a bad rollout. It's a core structural flaw in the product itself.
Is partnering with the WNBA its best bet? ? Quote, I don't want to speak too much of what's going on behind the scenes. But I've made it very clear we're open to the ecosystem. I'm sure you are. Unrivaled President Alex Brazell said Monday, on the day the league's open, quote, which way that looks like, for us, there's nothing that's on the table or off the table. Nothing that's off the table is the key takeaway there. Brazil has been open about Unrivaled's efforts to work with the WNBA from the onset. In September, he told Front Office Sports that Unrivaled went to the WNBA early and was open to a formal partnership. The WNBA
and the situation deteriorates further because Caitlin Clark wasn't the lone marquee name to decline. Aya Wilson, the 2-time MVP and defining figure of the Las Vegas Aces, is absent from Unrivaled. Angel Reese, whose rivalry with Clark fueled enormous engagement all year, is also not participating. Sabrina Ionescu hasn't even debuted yet.
It's because of Project B, which is going to have this league in a damn bind. I mean, real fast. Quote, what you look at right now is there's a collaboration that's going on in NBA Europe. That was not a formal partnership before. As long as you can look at that space in an innovative lens, anything is doable, anything is possible. He's literally bringing up other examples of collaboration. By this time next year, Project B, the new traveling 5-on-5 league, plans to be up and running with a number of former and current Unrivaled players committed to play in the inaugural season, including Alyssa Thomas and Jewel Lloyd. Beyond that immediate threat, there's a longer-term one if the WNBA pursues exclusivity as a result of increased pay. Quote,
Because
the CBA. But it does look like it's coming. That may be true, but there's a belief within WNBA circles that the league is still at least one collective bargaining agreement away from being able to offer salaries that warrant exclusivity. But for sustained success, Unrivaled needs to consider an increasingly crowded women's basketball ecosystem. Now, it goes on to talk about the great, and I do mean the GOAT, David Stern, coming out and talking about why the WNBA was created. It was created as a league opposite to the NBA, purposely. So people would have basketball to watch when the NBA wasn't playing. It goes on to talk about the fact that the Unrivaled's got all this new money. Well, it's just investment money. All right, Series B investment, valuing the league at $340 million. Following the inaugural season when the league banked more than $27 million in revenue, the league is trying to grow that number, selling more tickets in a small arena, increasing the capacity.
now
There were empty seats, very visible on the television screen. This league is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Breanna Stewart, co-founder, when talking about Project B, honestly, I don't know. Talking about, are they considered a competitor? Project B has a lot that's still in the works until they're on the ground running. No, that's no shade to them or anything. It's just different. We're playing 3-on-3 in one city. It's 5-on-5 all over the place. Yeah, but when you
what makes the situation is far from settled.
Games, and I'm sure there may, I guess, maybe there's going to be some basketball fans that are going to all come together to try to flood those two matinees. But I'm guessing the ratings for those two games are going to be sub 100,000 viewers. Is that a success? And I'm talking sub 100,000, maybe with the new methodology that's artificially pumping all these numbers up. This was code word, like business code word for Adam Silver. You got your ears on? We're in the quicksand, and we're
Because 5-on-5, full court, the authentic game, not a condensed format.
tossing you. I got a little rope here, or could you toss us a rope? Toss us a rope. We're going down. It is what it is. I mean, I think Project B is going to stomp this league right out of existence. And then we'll see. You know, you got to realize the NBA's working with NBA Europe. Okay, well, I mean, Project B is an overseas league, and there's a lot of reputable people involved in that league. You know? Again, Unrivaled, no Sophie, no Asia, no Sabrina, no Caitlin, and no Angel. And if you gave that league truth serum, I bet you they would have told you 6 months ago, well, we'll have Sabrina Ionescu and Angel Reeves. No, you won't.
But step